Hi, this is Nanette Hosenfeld with the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Thursday, May 27th, 2021. Looking at fire potential impacts for the next few days, no significant impacts on the map for today. We are looking at seasonal temperatures. We could see some scattered shower storms across the central and northern part of the Great Basin, but in those areas the fuels are still too green to support large fires. Over the past 24 hours, there's really not much in the way of precipitation across the Great Basin, and not much lightning. We still have a few ongoing fires across the Great Basin. Looking at precipitation over the past 7 and the past 30 days, you can see that the northwestern portions of the Great Basin have received the most precipitation, pretty widespread area precipitation in northern Nevada and up into portions of Idaho. But things have been quite dry across the southern part of the Great Basin, and that holds true looking back 30 days as well, with the driest conditions across the southern part of the Great Basin, but also some of the lower elevations of southern Idaho and western Utah have been quite dry as well. ERCs have dropped back into the green category for much of the area. The exception to that is across the far south, and that should come as no surprise since we were just looking at the dry conditions across the south. Looking at how ERCs have trended, GB14, which is in northwestern Nevada, had reached record high ERCs at the beginning of May, but since then has dropped with the cooler, wetter weather. Further south, in southwestern Utah, GB33 has been right around record high values ever since the beginning of May. Live fuel moistures, for the most part, are below normal across the Great Basin. They're following seasonal trends, but below normal, if not near record low in many places. Satellite this morning shows clear skies across the entire Great Basin, with some advancing clouds from the northwest from an approaching weather system. So for today, mostly dry conditions across the Great Basin. There is a weather system approaching the area from the northwest. You can see that on the map there. With that weather system, we will see some elevated winds across portions of northwestern Nevada, southwestern Idaho, but fuels here are still in green up, and there's less of a concern with wind in those areas. As we move into Friday, that weather system moves through the far northern part of the Great Basin. We will see some gusty winds across portions of southeastern Idaho, western Wyoming, and northern Utah. The good news is that in those areas, relative humidities will be near just marginally critical values. As we move into Saturday, it does look like some moisture moves across the central and southern part of the Great Basin with largely westerly flow across the area. Light winds are expected across the entire Great Basin on Saturday. Over the next 3 days, not much precipitation is expected. It's looking pretty dry into the weekend. As we move into Sunday, high pressure begins building across the Great Basin. We will see a warming and drying trend across much of the area. You can see on our significant fire potential map that by Sunday, the southern parts of the Great Basin are in the brown category. As we move into Monday, we continue to see high pressure build into the area. That will lead to a continuation of the warming and drying trend with generally light winds. And moving into Tuesday, again, keeping that high pressure in place, you'll see on the significant fire potential map on the right, more areas moving into the brown and yellow categories of that drying trend, warming and drying trend. Finally, on Wednesday, still keeping high pressure in place across the Great Basin and continuing to see those fuels dry. So looking at a prolonged warm and dry period into early next week. The 7-day period, again, looking really quite dry. Pretty much not much in the precipitation expected across the area in the 7-day period. Finally, in the 8 to 14-day outlook, the Climate Prediction Center is calling for warmer and drier conditions than is normal, and that takes us into the first week of June. Thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact us. Our information is on the screen, and you can also find us on Twitter. Thanks.